Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Loan Officer Breakfast Club, brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. We're so glad to have you here this morning. We're hoping we have a fabulous show. We think we will.
Oh, we will.
Owen? Yeah. Owen is, we think we will. We know we will, right? Well, of course, because if Owen doesn't make it because of Wi-Fi issues, we've got you to fill in the gaps, my friend.
That's right. We got it. Yeah, Owen's having a Wi-Fi issue. I've been dying to do this. I've got his slides. I'm 100% confident I can talk through his slides. It likely will not be the same thing that he would say on his slides, but I got the slides. Yeah.
But you got it covered.
I got it covered.
I am looking forward to hearing that. I really am. It's kind of sad. It's like I'm hoping Owen doesn't make it just so I can see the Carl version of these slides.
I've been dying to do this.
Oh my gosh. You know, something happened yesterday at home.
Coming.
So I was actually doing a podcast for Mortgage Loan Officer podcast. And as I'm doing it, you know, when I do the podcast, my door to my room is right behind me. And I'm interviewing, you know, doing this podcast. And my wife is opening the door behind me, right? And so I've got, you know, the whole hand. You know, you can't see me on the screen, but my hand is behind my back, like shushing her out of the room, you know, like, get out of the room, you know? So she does. And then I came downstairs. I said, yeah, hey, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't mean to shush you out like that.
I was going to say, I don't know if I'd be shushing.
I know. Well, right. That's why I immediately ran downstairs, Carl.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
I needed to tend to that situation, you know?
Yeah.
So I just said, hey, you know, sorry, babe. You know, I didn't mean to shush you out. She goes, oh, no problem. I didn't know you were on a thing. I came up because you know, there's a taco on the stove for you there. And I go, oh, taco. Right. And then, my wife can make these enchiladas that are just like, dude, they're like restaurant quality. They're the enchiladas with the green sauce. You know, not the red, the verde. Yeah. And cheesy and just really tender, moist. And just, man, I'm telling you, they're just off the charts. So anytime she's, you know, it's enchilada night, I'm like, you know, like a dog wagging his tail in the kitchen all day. Yeah. You know, it's like, how are we doing? How's the enchiladas coming? You know, hey, I can't wait for those. So I go downstairs. She goes, yeah, I put this taco on the stove. I just want to let you have it. And I'm like, but I thought it was enchilada. She goes, no, it's enchilada, but I just had a little extra, and I made a taco and made a couple, ate one, you know, got one for you. So I go to the stove, and it's a plate, and it's covered with a napkin or whatever, and I open it up, and there's this taco, and it was just not what you would imagine as a taco, right? It was like, what is this? And it's like, bro, it was a fried taco.
Oh, dear.
Have you ever had a fried taco?
Oh, dear. No.
So it's a taco, and it's like fried. You know what I mean? So it was like sealed, self-contained, kind of crunchy, crispy. Dude, I ate this thing. I'm like, where has this been all my life?
Interesting.
You know, like, this is amazing. I go out, what is this? You have never done this. What is this? And he goes, oh, I just tried, you know, the thing. I said, okay. It goes on the list of epic things you can make. Don't ever not make this again.
So there's this restaurant in New York City, in Manhattan, and it's called Chips. So a lot of you might have heard of it, Chips. And what Chips is famous for, they fry everything. And so, like, they fry pizza, they fry macaroni and cheese. You know, of course they'll, you know, the Snickers and the Oreos. Of course they do those things.
Yeah,
Frank, they could fry an athletic sock, and it would taste amazing.
It's the best sock I ever ate.
It's amazing. So and there's a cardiologist conveniently right next door. You know, so have you been there, Shelley?
Yeah, Shelley, you got your hand up. This is.
I'm originally from where Illinois, Iowa, Missouri all connect on the Mississippi River. So right in the middle of the country, and every bar and restaurant makes fried tacos.
Really?
Everyone. And I moved to St. Louis 18 years ago. No one makes them. No one. And they are the best taco.
Aren't they? I mean, yeah. I was like,
one time my regional manager came down and he's like, hey, I want to take everyone out for dinner tonight. And I want to take the other branch in Quincy. And I'm like, great. I know this great place. It's Taco Tuesday. And he's like, okay. So we go there and the tacos were $1.25 and the long necks were $1. And he goes, "This is the cheapest meal I've ever had with a team of 20 people." Like, it was awesome. It was awesome. So, yeah.
And if you just have the long necks, well, that even makes it even cheaper.
Yeah, exactly.
And as long as you have enough long necks, they don't even know that there aren't taco there. Right?
Oh, all right. Yeah. The fried tacos. Yeah. I never had that. Hey, did Owen make it in or not?
He did.
He did.
Oh, he did.
I'm here.
Owen, I'm going to do this. I don't want you to take it personally. And the reason I'm doing that is simply because we were hoping Carl was going to get to give your presentation. We were excited to see what that.
I gave it a good 30 seconds worth of prep. I was ready. So I'll save it. I'll save it, Frank. I'll save it.
All right. We'll get to it one of these days. Hey, before we do get started, I'm feeling like there's some sort of an announcement we should make. There's something like that. I feel like there's an MMA thing. What's going on at MMA today?
Today we have at 2:00 we have the complete loan officer class, and Kevin Gillespie is going to be on there.
Oh, nice.
What it was. That's what it was. I knew there was something. Yeah, I knew it was something about today. Well, that's good. So he's going to be going over call reluctance. For members. Yeah, it's going to be good. All right, cool. So if you're a member, 2 p.m. today, the way you get in is through the website. Classes on the left. Click it. You'll see the complete loan officer class. Get in 2 p.m. Eastern time. Kevin Gillespie, overcoming call reluctance. Cool. That's very cool.
Yeah. I'll have to say, I don't think anything moves the needle more really than that topic right there. Like we need all the other stuff, like social media, teaching classes and conversion and traffic and all that. But boy, I don't think any one thing standalone by itself solves more problem than overcoming call reluctance. Because if we overcome call reluctance, that pretty much overcomes any other shortcoming that we might have.
It really does.
It really does. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And no matter what else we're doing, if we have the call reluctance, it makes it very, very tough. Like we can get with Chris Johnstone and using his social media and all the AI stuff. We can get plenty of leads, but and his system will actually talk to the people for you. But at some point, you have to have a licensed person talk to these people to do to bring them in that last foot into the boat.
Yeah.
And if you're not if you don't solve that call reluctance problem, nothing else matters. Like nothing that I know of will overcome that other than overcoming call reluctance.
That's it.
Yeah.
Great stuff. All right. Hey, well, before we get started, though, I do have to ask Miss Kristen, you put something in the chat, and I just figured you could, state what that is and why. And we just would really like to know, why did you put that in the chat?
What did I put in the chat?
You put something in the chat.
About the upcoming
mastermind
boot camp. Yeah.
Oh, that. Okay. I thought you were talking about, I told Shelly she might not have fried tacos in St. Louis, but she's got Provel cheese. And if you've never had Provel cheese, that stuff is the best stuff ever. So,
what is it?
Provel cheese. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's a combination of provolone, mozzarella, and something else. Shelly, what's it a combination of?
I don't know. I never eat it.
Oh my gosh.
Have you ever had Emo's Pizza?
Emo's Pizza. I don't eat Emo's Pizza. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like the Emo's either. But you've got the Clydesdales, you got the InBev, I guess it is now. Grant's Farm, so much fun stuff in St. Louis. Anyway.
Well, we have the Cardinals, but they're really bad. So
this year.
If you're getting value from this already, go ahead and tap that like button. It helps more loan officers find content that actually makes a difference. And hey, if staying ahead of the market and learning what's really working in our industry matters to you, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss another episode. We read every comment, so drop your thoughts down below. We'd love to hear from you and know what's working or what you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you here next time.
This year. Okay, so the next boot camp, I've had a lot of people ask about when is the next boot camp going to be? And it's October 9th and 10th in Clearwater, Florida. This one's going to be in Clearwater, and the link is already up to register. So mastermindretreats.com.
What month again? Sorry, I missed that. What was it?
October.
October. Okay.
Up 9th and 10th.
Man, October will be here before you know it. Mm-hmm. It's just going to race to October. So, get registered, get signed up, get to the boot camp. That's Clearwater. So, Excellent.
And I hear that Clearwater, Florida in October is pretty nice.
It is. It's crazy nice.
It goes on that list of things that doesn't suck. Hey, we're doing a new format on these boot camps, just to let everybody know. They're more of like a workshop type thing. We do some hands-on workshops that actually lead there with things done, and I've tried pulling that off with like 700-800 people in a room. It just doesn't work. Like it just doesn't work. And so we find it works best with like about 40, maybe 50 people, something like that. And so that's what we've been limiting these to. And so same thing in Clearwater, even though it's a big place and we can get bigger rooms, we decided to keep. I really like the workshop environment where you leave with the things done. And so I know October might seem like a long ways away, but the room we got is for a workshop environment, which again I think it's like 47 people or something like that. So you want to get registered very early because it'll fill up real quick. So anyway, so what are we doing today, Frank?
Well, we are going to bring up Mr. Owen Worthy on the mortgage market update, my friend. Thank you for asking, Carl.
I don't know. I don't know if I can do it this morning. I'm still sad from the sad trombone, and I'm also salivating about fried tacos.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It is breakfast.
Here, I'm married. I have 3 kids. I've been very fortunate. I thought maybe my life was complete, but I've never had a fried taco.
Oh, dude,
And
I'm
now,
telling you, brother.
Almost complete.
I just feel incomplete. I don't know what to do. How do you fry a taco at home?
I don't even know. Dude, it was crispy. It had like crunchy cheesy kind of around the edge and like Parmesan on it.
Did it have lettuce? Was there lettuce on it?
There was no lettuce in it. No, it was just kind of...
No lettuce, yeah.
No,
but
basically it was like a giant Frito is what I'm kind of picturing. You know, and you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with a foot-long stuffed Frito. You know.
Yeah. With
Carl, just to contradict you for 1 second, which I don't normally do, I think the giant Fritos follow the dollar long necks.
Yeah,
possible. Giant Fritos wouldn't last long after a few buckets of long necks. Not in my world. Anyway, but on to the mortgage market. So, hey, Jen, could you throw up some slides? I thought we'd take a little bit of a temperature check on how the market is doing year over year. First, we will take a look at our, this is a 1 month chart. So, as you can see, we're just pretty well meandering in the same neighborhood. We've talked about this hey, Jen, is it possible these are last week's slides?
Oh, really?
They're the ones I got this morning, but let me double check again.
Hold on 1 second. I can this is really the first time we've ever had a technical issue. Yeah, here I'm gonna
let's
but
see.
It explains why Carl.
We do have it.
See, if I go over last week's slides, it'll be a total different. It'll be a total different presentation. So
that's right. It'll seem so new. Yeah, we do have the right ones. You got them, Jen? Or they're in the email?
I do. Yep. Hold on.
Okay, so we'll get there. So while she's digging that up, Owen, what else is new? Where have you been lately?
Sir.
Have you come back from any conferences or anything since last week, or have been meandering on the hill, as it were?
Well, last week was the best week because I got to hang out with Carl. I got to hang out with Kristen. I got to hang out with Krista in Plymouth, Michigan. We got to talk about, for those of you that were there, I see a few names on there. By the way, Marty, I absolutely love your picture with, sticking your tongue out at people. I bet that's a good conversation starter. Marty was in Plymouth last week with her son.
I love Marty.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So what do we got here?
I have this week off. Okay. Here's what we have. This is about a 2-week slide. Going from the 10th, we're the 23rd today. We're going quiet. We're ahead of the Fed. We're going to have a Fed meeting coming up next week, and then we're going to have 6 weeks off till September. The Fed continues to be a hot topic. getting relentlessly attacked. You saw a few, this really well-respected economist, former Fed governor named Kevin Warsh, talk about reviewing the Fed. Scott Bessent, who's a very intelligent guy, current Treasury Secretary. I guess the president is going to see the Fed building that's supposedly over budget. So there's a lot of heat on Jay Powell right now. But the market is still in a very tight swing. So this, this swing, that right side axis is in what's called ticks. And there's 3 basis points between every tick. And so there's 33 ticks in 100 basis points. The math on that doesn't work out perfectly. But looking at this from a low of 100.28 to a high of 101.6, that's like a 30 bip swing for 2 weeks. So we've just been kind of bouncing around. So we've been talking all summer and all spring about this being your best sales tool, right? Being on the phone. We got Kevin Gillespie talking about call reluctance at 2 o'clock today. It's absolutely true. We are not in a market where we're in a slightly better market than last year. We're going to talk about that in a second. But this is where we are until we get past the tariffs, until maybe the Fed more clearly signals where they're going. Who knows? If Powell does resign, I think that's going to disrupt the market before it calms it. I don't know which way disruption goes, to be totally frank. So we talked all year long about beating the starting block. Think of yourself as a sprinter. Get ready to go. Start making those calls, because if we get a run, it might be a 3-week run. And if you're like a couple of weeks ago, we barely touched our high water mark for the year, which matched the first week in April. You know how long that lasted? 4 hours. So, it's just the market we're in. So keep plugging away at the phone calls, keep plugging away with your feet in the starting block, get ready to go. We're in a 20 to 30 basis point swing market for the last 2 weeks. Can we advance one, Jen? And look at the last 6 months, right? This is where we're at. That bar in the middle is the average of where we are in the last 6 months. We have moved in a range of about 150 basis points in price. 150 basis points in price is probably 50 basis points in rate in a range. So this is where we've been at for 6 months. So again, interest rates are not your enemy, but they're not your friend. This is your friend. This is the best sales tool that we have. And this proves exactly what we've been preaching on this Thursday morning call, literally since the beginning of the year. I do think it's more possible that rates will drift down toward the end of the year as opposed to drifting up. There's just not a lot of evidence that this inflation conversation has been going on since St. Patrick's Day, which is one of my favorite days of the year. But that's in March 17th, for those of you who don't know it immediately. Almost, 4 or 5 months, and no serious inflation has showed up. There's zero evidence that the tariffs have affected inflation, I should say. Yes, and I think that's kind of a narrative that's run out of gas. So I think from a directional point of view, we're more likely to go down a little bit than up a little bit. Hopefully that is a good harbinger for the rest of the year, but we got to be ready. And it's likely not going to be huge. It's not going to change your life. It's not going to bring us to a market where your phone's, jumping off the hook. And, it's not going to be like hunting where you drive your pickup truck through the woods and the deer jump in the back of the truck on their own. So you're going to have to continue to use your phone. But I thought we'd just take a look at year over year. I know for the 318 people that are on this call, we're mostly purchase business. So we have had some good news in the purchase market. We'll just kind of take a check-in. Jen, if you could swing over the slide while I take a sip of coffee. Mortgage demand is continuing to outpace 2024 by about 8 to 10%. So it's not life-changing, but for those of you that are doing your prospecting, you should notice a difference, because when the market goes up 10%, doesn't necessarily lift all boats, right? Who it helps is the people that are doing the prospecting work disproportionately. So for those of you that are out there who are doing it, you're the ones that are reaping the benefit. So if you just look at this, you know, the refinance index decreased last year. Refinance is about 40% of the business. You know, 39.6, 41.1. These are driven still mostly by cash outs. Very little rate and term. There's little pockets of rate and term from 6-week bursts where interest rates went really high in 2023 and in 2024. But most of it is cash out, high equity still, record-breaking equity across the country, record-breaking or pretty gosh darn close to record-breaking consumer debt. That's a good ingredient mixture for refinances. So that's holding steady around 40%. Seasonally adjusted purchase index increased 3% from the week earlier. That's been running about 8 to 10% above. So nothing spectacular, nothing super sexy, you know, slow and steady wins the race. And that's what we're doing, you know, this year. I saw one other very interesting thing. You know, I get asked a lot about ARMs. And it used to be that, you know, a 7-year ARM, a 5-year ARM, a 10-year ARM was a product where you could get your borrower solidly 50 basis points less in rate. You know, that was kind of the rule of thumb 15 years ago. Jen, if you want to advance the slide, I thought this was very interesting. We are so hooked on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage in this country. ARM activity, 7% of total applications. And I think that's indicative of two things. Number one, servicers have gotten so smart about how they price loans and what they'll pay for and what they won't. Almost all ARMs go on a balance sheet. Very little of them are sold. Very little of them go to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac because they don't produce enough revenue over their life cycle. And so most of it goes on the balance sheet of a depository bank or maybe a life insurance company or some gigantic equity fund. So they're kind of stuck there. That's not a huge area of competition that you think it might be. So that was interesting. FHA at 19%. VA, amazing. You know, our veterans in this country are amazing. They do not represent 10% of the population, but they do represent 10 to 12% of the mortgage market because they're responsible people, they're educated people, and they understand the value of home ownership, and they're using that VA benefit more and more and more. So that's kind of where we are. This is one of my most interesting favorite charts, this last one. We haven't talked about it. I haven't put it up since late February. So, Jen, if we can just get to the last one. This is a dot plot map. Every data point on here indicates a corresponding week of the year. So if you'll see the bottom axis goes from 1 to 52. Excuse me. The black line is 2025. So you can see we're running ahead of 2024. We started out even with 2024, and then about the last 2 weeks of March, we broke out, and we've been running about 10 to 15% ahead of where we were in 2024, and almost exactly tracking 2023. I mean, look at that. You're not going to see two lines that are closer to one another. Still behind 2019 and 2022. You take out the 2 COVID years where it's just off the charts, and you can see, we're doing okay. We're not breaking any records. So those of you that are busy, it's due to your prospecting. So hats off and congrats to you. I do think, though, that what the experts are projecting, the MBA experts and Fannie and Freddie, is for a definite more robust second half of the year. You can see we're kind of at the high water mark for the year, and typically we would start to dwindle. I don't know that we're necessarily going to go up, but with certain areas of the country, like Florida and Texas, maybe we'll look at this next week, North and South Carolina becoming buyers markets, not sellers markets. Carl, we talked about that on the last town hall. I do think you have an opportunity to have a more robust second half of the year, especially if interest rates drift down a little bit. So I just always find this chart interesting. And boy, if you look at 2023 and 2025, those 2 lines are almost exactly the same.
Hey, if you're liking Loan Officer Breakfast Club, you really need to check out Mortgage Marketing Animals. Don't forget, we have live events pretty regularly throughout the year. You can learn more by going to mastermindretreats.com. Mastermindretreats.com. Go there, check it out. Hope to see you at one.
So that's it for this week. We're, pound the phone. I mean, that's the best thing that you can do for yourself. I think the market won't be your enemy. I don't see it going up, absent some unexpected turn in Washington, D.C. But I don't see it going down a whole ton. It's not going to become your best friend. Might help a little bit. Maybe it's like sailing with a 5-mile-an-hour wind at your back.
You know what I really got out? One of the things that I got out of this, Owen, and we've been talking about that a little bit, is that what was that? It was where the refinance applications, what was that, like 40% of all mortgage applications were refinance applications. And so, honestly, that just made me take a look at, what we're doing over here, on my side of the fence. And are we really doubling down on our past database? Because past database is where we get the vast majority of our refinances. So for all of us, on this call, take a look at your purchase refinance volume. And if you're not somewhere, let's say at least 30%, there's some missed opportunities there. And so before we start doing something new, maybe we ought to start look at what I don't like to should on ourselves here, right? But maybe we ought to look at what we should be doing and looking like right at our own past database. And so I think that was a big message. I had no clue it was that high.
Yeah.
Farming your past client database, if you're not doing it, it's like a vein of gold in your backyard that you're not, you're a farmer with 20 acres that are unplanted. I really don't know what the correct analogy is, but you work your whole career to get that database. And if you want to stay relevant to those people, you have to call them and be in contact with them. And I'm sorry, in today's fast-paced world of social media and where the eyeballs go, text messaging, putting them on an email drip campaign where they get 20 emails from you a year, that's not mining your past client database.
That's right.
Your past client, mining your past client database, calling them 2 or 3 times a year, perhaps once per quarter. It's you do need the emails, you need texting, and you probably need some type of monitoring service on your past client database. You have to have this. Carl, we talked about this last week in Plymouth. I mean, there's 300 people on this call. Let's say they all have 100 people in their past client database. That's 30,000 people. How many of those 30,000 people have downloaded the Redfin app? How many of those 30,000 people have downloaded the Zillow app? How many of those people have filled out an open house flyer for a realtor who's got a technologically savvy mortgage partner? Right? Your past client database, you need to assume that each one of those people is being monitored by at least 2 or 3 other mortgage companies. If you don't assume that, you're doing yourself a disservice. You've worked your entire career to build this asset. And now it's like, if you don't farm your database, it's like having your life savings in cash in a mattress when it should be in the stock market, or rental homes, or Bitcoin, or some type of fruitful investment, and you've worked hard for that. Take advantage of it. You deserve to earn from that database. And, just look at the numbers. This is, 60, 40. This is just math. You can never get mad at the math. That's what I always used to tell myself when I was more aggressively writing loans every day. Don't get mad at the math.
Good stuff, Owen. Hey, Owen, you got time after this to shoot a quick podcast?
I do, my friend.
You know what I'd like to go into our topic, and we'll get it posted here in the next day or two. I'd like to go into a little bit about this the Jerome Powell thing, and not go into the political nature of it, but like, how much power does that role have, and how do they decide whether rates go up or down? Is it Jerome? Is it the governor? Like who what like, how do they actually decide if rates go up or down? So I had a lot of people reaching out to me and asking me about that topic, and I thought, hang on, let me get my brother Owen. So maybe we can pick that topic that we'll do here just a little bit.
That guy,
that'd be interesting.
That guy is in the frying pan right now, and they're turning up the flame.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. And again, we won't go into political nature. It's just like so we won't talk about the individual. We'll talk about the position. That position, what exactly is that? What does it mean? And I'd like to go into that. So we'll go into that. So cool. Hey, and just one last thing. If you want to know, hey, am I marketing my database accurately and appropriately, and am I giving them the right message? If you've got 300 people in your past database, you should be getting 3 loans each and every month just from that. If you got 500, you should be getting 5. So 1 for every 100. If you're getting more than that, awesome. You keep doing what you're doing. If you're getting less than that, that's not like the holy grail. That's not like where we want you to get. That's like the minimum. And so if you're not getting that, Chris can help you on the CRM side. We can help you with the scripting side. But if you really want to look to see measure yourself on how you're doing, it's a great thing to measure. How big is your database? Are you closing 1% each and every month? If you're not, if you're not, somebody is. If you're not, somebody is. So good stuff. Thanks, Owen. Appreciate you, brother.
Awesome. Yeah, Owen Lee, 100%. Everybody. Like always, Owen, it's an honor and a privilege.
I gotta give a quick shout out. I don't know if she's still on. Shelly Isaacson. Her background, she's like orbiting the Earth. Kind of tilted. So the ship might be tilted. And she's got a seatbelt on. So I'm glad you're buckled in if you're orbiting the Earth, Shelly. That's great. That's great.
Awesome. All right, Owen, thanks, man. Just again, always an honor and a privilege. We're blessed to have you on the show every week, man. Really appreciate it, man.
Thank you,
such good information. Yeah. Yep. All right, for everybody else, man, thanks so much. Don't forget, it is Thursday. This is our pre-approved and lookings. Want to make sure we call our pre-approved and lookings. Keep them motivated. Ask them if they know anybody else that needs your help. Touch the lead, touch the partner. And another thing that we do once in a while, we don't talk about it much, Carl, is a Thursday text. Just texting all of your agents, saying, hey, if you're going to be showing property this weekend, let's make sure they're pre-approved so it's not a waste of your time, or it's a good use of your time, however you want to say it. That's a great thing to do as well. Learn everything you need to know. Just go to dailysuccessplan.com. Dailysuccessplan.com. If you need help getting going, you need help with scripts, you need help with the plan, dailysuccessplan.com. So with that, we'll go ahead and get on out of here. You guys have a great day. We'll see you here tomorrow with Chris Johnstone. We get freaked out on AIs. We love to do on Fridays. See you guys then. Adios.
Have a good day.